Good morning and welcome to our bi-weekly Eastside Rap meeting. I'm Landon Rank. I'm the Associate Director at SB Act, and we are hosting these meetings to discuss impacts of homelessness on the east side of Santa Barbara. Joined by Liz Stotts from the City of Santa Barbara. This is a partnership we have as part of a broader South County-wide collaboration to address homelessness. So appreciate you all being here. Just a couple general announcements, and then we'll start with just hearing if I don't know if there are any community members on the call, but we'll open it up if anybody has specific issue areas. Just schedule wise, the next thing that's actually coming up is the South County Collaborative meeting. So this is just to learn about what we're doing throughout the whole South County region. And I'll put the Zoom registration link up in just a minute, a QR code. Our next Eastside Rap meeting won't be for 4 weeks because our normal Eastside Rap meeting time will be on Black Friday, so we are not going to meet that day. So the 13th, Friday the 13th in December. And then I wanted to just put on everybody's radar, if it's not already, the point in time count is coming up quickly on January 22nd, Wednesday morning at 5:30 a.m. This is our annual basically like a census of everybody who's experiencing homelessness in our county, and it's required by the federal government. We need a lot of volunteers and probably all of our outreach teams.
Recording
So
progress.
if it's not on your calendar yet, go ahead and just pencil it in. We're gonna put out the registration links soon. Here's the link for the registering for our December 9th meeting, just learning about what's going on with homelessness throughout South County. So that'll be on Zoom. The target audience is really community members, but we welcome anybody who's a homeless service provider as well. You're welcome to join us. And then lastly, warming centers are officially up and running as of today. I don't actually know whether they've been activated. I haven't called the hotline. Does anyone know if we're at that level of cold? It's okay if
Not
not.
yet. I haven't
Okay.
seen anything come through. And 35 degrees is pretty low, so I'm not sure if we are going to be hitting 35 degrees.
Okay. So just something to keep on your radar. There is also a new hotline number this year, so make sure you save that in your phone. Just a good place to send people who are wondering where they can go during inclement weather. And then Path Team, do you want to talk about your inclement weather beds as well?
Yes, we also operate inclement weather beds. Uh, so we open ours under the same conditions, but we also have a little bit more flexibility. So sometimes ours are open even when the freedom warming centers are not. So we don't necessarily have to wait until the 35 degrees. So if we see that there's a high likelihood of rain, we'll open up beds. If it's going to be like extremely windy and cold or something like that, we'll open up beds. And so we'll reach out and let all of the partners know when we have beds available, and then we will keep up people updated as beds fill up so that everyone's aware that they're open and can send people open.
And just, I think Good Samaritan uses AccuWeather as their weather app to determine, because I think each app has slight variations. I don't know if you guys have a specific uh, weather website that you use, but
We just use
just
our iPhones.
you're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I
I
know
think
in
the
some
default on
places,
those is weather.com for an iPhone.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. But yeah, just so you know that Good Samaritan uses AccuWeather.
And then for our inclement weather beds too, if it is going to be bad weather for like multiple days in a row, we do actually leave the facility open to folks so people are not don't have to leave during the day, and they can stay within the shelter throughout the day if they're here on one of our inclement weather beds.
That's great. Liz, that's reminding me I owe you an email too about yeah, well, I'll get back to you on that. So I think with that, we'll go ahead and go and open it up for any questions or concerns from the general public Anything or issues that community members want to raise? I
Hi,
think it's just,
Landon.
go ahead,
Susie.
Susie.
I'm sending you a clip. Maybe you can share it with your team since I can't put it in the chat. But on Tuesday at 6 a.m., we had somebody come on site here because he can literally walk through when our drivers were doing their stretches, and our supervisor spoke to him and said he can't be on site, and he got very animated and so forth. So I've seen him before. I don't know if he's a PATH resident or not, but I'll go ahead and send it to you and you can make it available to the team.
Susie, can you send it to our outreach email address, or even you can text it to our outreach phone number so that we can take a look and see if it's someone who we know who our outreach team engages with, or if it's somebody who resides here, we can relatively easily.
For convenience, Liz, can you put that in the chat and I'll.
Yep.
And then Susie, if you don't mind sending it to me as well, then we'll bring it up after the community members leave the call. We can watch the video together and just see if anybody, even if it's not a PATH resident, who else it might be working with that
great.
individual.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for letting us know. Anything else? Go ahead, Chris.
Good morning, everybody. I know last month or last meeting, we talked a tiny bit about the Christmas parade that's coming up, but the date on that is going to be Saturday, December 12th on Milpas. And for those who are participating, there will be a mandatory meeting on Friday, December 6th, to get the details on it. And I'm hoping a certain group who might be present on this call might be one of the participants in that parade. So we'll see.
That's great. Looks like you have a question from Shauna.
We're participating.
Hi, Chris. You said Saturday, December 12th, but December 12th is a
I meant
Thursday. Do you mean the 15th?
I think it's 12/14. 12/14 is what I have written down. I'm sorry.
14th? Okay, thank you.
Right. So with that, why don't we go ahead and go to our outreach teams to check in. So let's start with our CityNet team.
Morning. So yesterday, our whole team, me, John, Alondra, Karen, and Al was there as well. We met with Andrew behind what's that park called? Chase Palm Park, like the tracks along there, and did some outreach. There's quite a few people camping back there. Most of them were Spanish speakers, but Karen and Alondra speak Spanish, so they were able to communicate with those individuals, referred them to the Faro Center, gave out snacks and water, and that's gonna become one of our weekly things that we do Thursday mornings. John and I are going to start on the other end, I think on Garden, and Karen and Alondra are going to go down the tracks and we'll meet in the middle. And that's going to be a new weekly thing that we do. Aside from that, I don't think we have a lot on the east side, just the usual engaging with people, referring to Faro Center. We've noticed with this weather, like far less people out on like the beaches because the grass is wet. So that's about it, I think.
And I want to say thank you to CityNet for helping our team out with that. And thank you for prioritizing that area for a while. Really appreciate it. It's been an impacted area for some time for our code enforcement team. So I really appreciate that quick turnaround on that.
And curious, there were a couple of people that I know we were looking to try to figure out a way that we could get some folks from the track encampments into PATH, and we were waiting to hear back on some more information. Was curious if you were able to re-engage with those same folks or? If it's been,
I am not sure who those people were.
okay,
Yeah, that might have been our other team
I'll circle
that went out
back
there.
separately.
Okay.
Are you talking about the encampments along the freeway?
No, railroad tracks.
In that same region by the Turtle Park between El Estero and Chase Pond Park?
Yeah, I'll circle back separately. We don't need to discuss
Okay.
here.
Okay.
But why don't we go to the Path team for your check-in?
Hello. Well, first I'm just like, we've got a path crew here. So I'm gonna let everybody kind of introduce themselves. First, we have Oscar's our new Associate Director of Housing Programs. So he oversees our outreach, our permanent supportive housing, and our rapid rehousing. We also have Wanda and Shauna on the call right now. Wanda is currently supporting in street outreach while we are working. Eventually she will most likely transition to permanent supportive housing, but is currently supporting in street outreach. And Shauna is an AmeriCorps member who is with us working in street outreach as well. And then we also have JV here. So I'm going to let everybody kind of go around and do their little introductions and talk a little bit about what you've been doing, and then I can talk a little bit more, and then we'll grand finale with JV. Oscar, you want to go first?
Happy Friday. My name is Oscar Soto. Like Liz said, I'm the Associate Director of Housing Programs here. I'm getting myself familiarized with PATH, and I'm really excited to connect with the outreach team and, put ourselves out there and, support our clients. So I look forward to these meetings and getting to know everyone and then learning more about other agencies and how we can better support each other and collaborate as a team. So I do appreciate that.
Welcome, Oscar.
Thank you.
Wanda and Shauna, you want to introduce yourselves and talk about what's been going on the streets for you guys?
Hi, I'm Shauna. I'm the new AmeriCorps representative doing outreach out of PATH. We had a really in-depth training yesterday, which was awesome. Over the last week, Wanda and I were able to get together and circle around the area around PATH, introduce ourselves to a couple people that we met, just tried to establish rapport, getting to know them. I'm doing Access Point and the rescue mission on Wednesdays. I have a lot more direction now on what I'm supposed to be doing. So as of like the last week and a half, I'm a lot more clear on what my exact position and duties and stuff are. So I should be starting to enter a lot more stuff into the HMIS to be a lot more active now.
Great.
Hi,
Thanks, Shauna.
I'm Wanda Kelly, and I am new to outreach, and it's been really phenomenal going out and meeting people. Working with Shauna is great, and yesterday was a training which made a lot of things clearer to me, and the information was very valuable to me, and I'm hoping to do a better job with that information that I got out of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you all. JV, you want to give some updates on your?
Sure. So thank you, everyone. So PATH participated in this year's Milpas Halloween trick or treat event. It was a great turnout, and we had good engagement with the community. This year, PATH is thrilled to participate in this year's Milpas Christmas parade. Last week, we had our Path Santa Barbara Mixer at Brass Bear Brewing in the Funk Zone. We had a great turnout with a couple of elected officials that were that attended. We had great conversations with them talking about our cause. And I also want to thank everyone who stopped by. We are also having our Thanksgiving dinner next Friday, November 22nd from 5 to 7 p.m. Um, we are also having a holiday blanket drive, and these blankets will be given to our guests during our winter celebration dinner and gift giving. And if you want to participate, new blankets can be dropped off at PATH. Um, so that's pretty much it with my updates. I'll leave my contact information in the chat if you have any questions on the blanket drive or donating in general. As always, we are always looking for volunteers for our various programs. So I hope to see one of you volunteer at PATH. Thanks. I'll pass it over to Liz.
Thank you. I guess I'll do the grand finale.
Okay.
No, but because I did just want to just kind of circle back to the inclement weather beds and related to the blanket drive, and just like kind of a reminder for all of us, we have cold weather coming up, we have holidays coming up, and what a challenging time this is for folks who I mean, for a lot of folks in general, it's a difficult time, but for people who are unhoused and for people who are alone and unsupported, these times are especially challenging. And so to just a little reminder to just act with even more compassion than we already do, and just keep that in mind and remember, like, anything extra that we can do, like give out a blanket or give out a rain poncho or whatever that might be to make these challenging times just slightly less challenging for folks. It takes us all to support our community. And I also wanted to bring up, we've been in communication with some Eastside Society members and Eastside community members about, again, like that desire to have these conversations after hours with that in-person option. And we did one recently and wanted to just bring it up again. We were working to try to see if like we could just even do one like separately to at least continue that after hours conversation, but I've kind of circled back that it would make more sense to try to figure out a way to like really be able to have this group again. So maybe if we could look to do like another one in January or something, and then we would have, we'll know who the Eastside City Council member is, like that would be confirmed. We could get that person to attend as kind of like a getting to know you opportunity there too. We have kind of a tentative agenda even that we worked out with folks to get to know more about like what each of us does from like the city side, the SBAC side, the different organizations as well. And so I just wanted to bring that to this group again and see if we might be able to coordinate another one of those meetings, and hopefully like at the Franklin Center or even the Eastside Library over here, along with Spanish interpretation are the requests that have been made.
No, that sounds great. Let's talk offline about some possible dates for that. And the hard thing is always just getting everybody there. So, you know, that will be a potential sacrifice, is that we may not have all of the city staff and all the organizations, but I think we have enough advance notice. We can try and get a lot of people there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go to Andrew with code enforcement.
Thanks, Landon. Yeah, we had a good day yesterday, like Olivia mentioned, kind of collaborating there in that Turtle Park area, which is, definitely kind of a corridor for a lot of East Side movement and camps and just a variety of people. So I think that's going to make a great impact to kind of have them there on certain days. We can continue our work there as well, and really try to plug those people into resources. Aside from that, on the east side, we can continue a lot of our kind of regular cleanings. Still continued attention to the Cacique area, which is always challenging with, new issues that pop up, new areas, new faces. They kind of shift around the streets and, we're having some issues with some of the RVs and whatnot that are in the area now. But those definitely just some ongoing things that we are very aware of and working on. Aside from that, we continue to go down around Dwight Murphy Field. A lot of attention to that area, especially the creek there. That just continues to be a draw with the bathroom, the parking lot, and just some pretty good camping spots there. So, all in all, it's a lot of kind of the usual things that we're used to, and yeah, just doing our best to help plug a lot of these folks into resources as we come into these colder winter months. So, but yeah, all in all, nothing major to report from code enforcement side.
Liz Adams.
Yeah, I noticed the other day, and we checked in with AC Ramirez about this too, but the what do you call it, the fire water supply system that's like out on the sidewalk side out there. We noticed the other day that like their chain and padlocks that should be like locking that so it can't be opened and used, like aren't attached at all. It's not secured in any way. And so we brought it to their attention, asked if we could support them in like getting it locked, but the last I had seen it was still leaking pretty significantly out there. I don't know if maybe that's something that you could maybe support with.
Yeah, I believe they could reach out to the water department pretty quickly on that because they'll be the ones to actually like put a lock and make sure that that's, and potentially the fire department if it is a fire department
I think it's a
access.
backflow valve. I researched a little bit into it because I was going to submit a proposal with NITF to do something about that
Yeah,
because it
they
is
tell us
being
that
misused.
that we're in charge of doing our own lock, whatever. It's just wondering if anybody would be able to support them in getting it secured.
Yeah, I was looking into they have cages specific for those to protect them from tampering. So I know we have an NITF meeting coming up soon. That's the Neighborhood Improvement Task Force. So I was gonna make a couple of requests for that. That green electrical box that's outside of AC Ramirez that people sit on, and a couple other issues that are. So yeah, but yeah, I think Andrew, your idea of checking with the water department, I think would be good to see. Maybe it might be a quick, easy fix.
Okay.
Is that something I've already checked with the water department and they tell me to figure it out. So is that something that maybe you guys could reach out and see if there's anything additional that they can do to support us in it?
Did they what was their response that is it the responsibility of the property owner or
Yeah, yes. Mhm.
oh yeah, I mean that is a challenge from our angle. From our angle in code enforcement, we don't specifically work with like things happening on someone's private property like that. So it kind of if it is AC Ramirez's responsibility, they would need to sort of work on that resolution or figuring that out a bit themselves. I'm not sure if you have any other thoughts on it, Liz, if it's something where you guys would, through the NITF, do some kind of.
Yeah, with NITF, what's good about it is a multi-department, so it's good for brainstorming with all the different departments, and they might be able to come up with a faster turnaround, or not a faster turnaround, but be able to come up at it from different angles as to who's responsible. So they're a little bit more knowledgeable than in those aspects than you and I would be.
Sure.
So I would defer to that expertise. But yeah, if it's private property, that's actually one of my first questions is whether it is actually private property. I thought they were public utilities, but I could be wrong. So that's why we wanted to have that conversation with a larger group in the department, in the city.
All right. Thank you, Liz. Thanks, Andrew. Liz Stotts, did you have anything you wanted to report?
Yeah, let me pull up my email. We had a steering committee meeting with New Beginnings earlier this week, and they provided some updates on enrollments for their SURF 3 grant for people experiencing vehicular homelessness in target areas. Since they started their program in July 1, they have enrolled 52 individuals in 34 vehicles in Santa Barbara. The majority of them still are from the Eastside regions. That Eastside has been the #1 priority area for that project. They've housed 8 individuals since then, and that's huge news and huge progress in such a short amount of time. And they have 1, 2, 4, 6 people that have been placed in motels, and 1 that's been put in a shelter. And Barbara and I are meeting with New Beginnings to talk a little bit more about some of the regions in the South Quarantina area where we're getting a little bit of some more challenging folks that are not that are parking in that area, and we all know that it's been causing impact to the neighborhood. So we're going to talk about some other strategies that we can try to address that South Quarantina area. And
That's great.
And that's it.
Yeah, thanks for the positive update. Anything else, just general announcements or any other concerns or questions while we're all together? Okay. With that, then we'll go ahead and dismiss our community members and outreach providers if you can stick around, and we'll talk about individuals. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.